What's up, everyone? Greetings, greetings, children of Earth. It is the first day of the waxing moon. How about that? We made it to another one. I will have a link to my song in this description. And this video is really to share and talk about the process of this past moon cycle. And I'll say this to begin and in preface. Things have changed. A bit about the experience. I went into this moon cycle as an invocation of Asaya. Asaya to me was an experiment. Asaya to me is a state of being. There's a state of being that I know I connect with when I make music, in particular like with a guitar and with my voice. There's a space that I tap into that it's like I have this sense of, oh fuck yeah, like this is it, this is the thing, this is the feeling. And when I've done it with other people, I can just feel like it moves people, and it moves me. And Asaya was really the experiment of training that every day. And for the first week I made this mechanical, my intention was to do this throughout the full cycle. It ended up only being the first week. And the first week was like a 4-part process. 1, open up the voice, warm up. 2, practice the songs, meaning train. Really learn how to play specific music and understand the structures of others. Dial them in to a point where I can be confident creating with them, where I don't have to think about what I'm playing or think about what I'm saying. I've automated that experience, and now I can really tune into the presence of the song. So that's what I focused on this week. And that's where the chords came from. Too Much by Justin Bieber. That was a song that I really chose to dial in. And then I started working on Grace. And once I started getting into the production of the equation, that really took over. So in some sense, I feel like I was not in integrity with the experiment that I sought to conduct. I was not successful holding on, engaging my half of that idea or that thing that I was pursuing. That being said, I do feel like I learned quite a bit, but recognizing that I wasn't in integrity with the experiment, I think it was the second cycle in a row where I sought to conduct the same experiment, and I failed in the same way, which was first week I'm doing it, second week I end up producing that takes me in fully. Secondly, I also sought to do it in the morning first thing, and there were just many days where I did not want to do that, and I didn't, but it would be something that I would do every day. But I would say that's, things have changed for me because I've really felt this ongoing contemplation in me of, I don't like forcing myself to do something for the sake of developing discipline. And I've done that a fair amount, and I feel like it's been an important part of my journey, so I'm not dissing upon it anymore, but it doesn't feel like the way for me anymore right now. At the same time, I want to be fully in integrity with myself so that I know when I say something, I'm going to do that. And I don't feel like that's about developing discipline in some kind of arbitrary or mechanical or authoritative manner where I'm seeking to bend my being to my will. I feel like that's a bit over-minded. And the way through now, so breaking that down a little bit more, these video sessions that I was getting with Isaiah, practicing the music felt very supportive. The video sessions felt a bit contrived. I don't feel like I got to that state that I was talking about, which is really like, let's just call that state where it's like, fuck yeah, that's Isaiah, right? And these sessions, this experiment that I was seeking to conduct was, let me train entering this state every day and see what that's like. Let me train creating content with this motive or with this idea in mind, where I'm going to practice touching this state every day. I'm going to film it every day at the end of this period. Let's see what I've got. Let's see like what the videos are that came through. And I felt like the majority of the videos that I was creating, again, were pretty shitty. And I don't really feel like practicing these songs was helpful in developing me musically. The free flows, less so. I had one day where it really worked. Less the video portion and more just, it was like I executed Isaiah perfectly. It was a magical day. It was a day in which I wrote a big list of basically what are a bunch of things that I could do that would help everything else. Write the master list and then see what elements on these lists do I want to focus on right now that would help everything else move forward. And I ended up doing so much on this day. And in addition, I executed Isaiah with this 4-part pattern brilliantly, or rather perfectly. And it was just like, goddamn, I did a lot today. And then it kind of went downhill after that, or more like a little like that. But that was a magical day. I'm not counting on every day being like that. All that being said, Isaiah is the state of flow that I feel like I tap into, and vocals that I recorded on that day entered the track, which is really cool. And surprisingly, they sounded good. I recorded them in this room. Vocals have been a crazy thing for me to try to figure out how to do in this new space. As I mentioned in the last video, a lot of background noise. This time I went to the closet, but I caught all different kinds of resonating frequencies in the closet that kind of trashed some of my vocals. Still made it into the song, but all these things being said, I also started this mural. I'm not going to turn this around. I'll actually just grab the mural. I've got a bunch of hard drives that are plugged in and I'm making backups, and it's great. It's going somewhere. There's a guy and things happening. Okay, Twigs is in it. Dune is in it. It's dope. My parents are in it. It's cool. Essence. It was challenging for me to connect with the state of Isaiah these past 2 weeks. A lot of my efforts felt a bit forced and contrived, and I say that not just in my acoustic sessions, but also my production sessions. There's just quite a few sessions where I wanted to get away, and I didn't want to do it, and I just was like, yeah, that's just like a time to check myself. Like that isn't the energy. That's the sensation that I'm swimming against the stream and against the current of life. And that is a time to check myself and tune in and recalibrate, right? Like there's a difference between I'll often have anxiety when it comes to arriving to work. And that's just something I learned to deal with and sit down and arrive. That's different than when I'm sitting down and I'm arrived and I don't want to be there. And there were a few times where I felt that way. And ultimately it's felt like I was trying, I had an idea for how to connect with Asaya, how to create content, and in the process of walking into that idea and that methodology of creating content, I didn't feel like I was in tune. I was in pitch. It didn't feel like the thing. And it felt like I was forcing it. So it's like, oh, okay, it's time to change. It's time to shift. It's time to evolve. Also, my dad's been living with me for the past 2 weeks here. I've just moved into this new place in Atlanta, and this is the first time that I'm actually here alone since I've arrived here. And now this is really my new chapter of life. It's my first time in life living alone. I've always had roommates or partners or whatnot, but I'm really excited to experience what it's like to just do my thing here. So I'm in a new place. The way I've been approaching Scrum has been super helpful, especially during a time in my life where there's a lot of change happening for the past many months. At this point in time, I have a sense that it's a good time to let go of my structures, let go of the way that I've been doing things, so I may be open and receptive to new ways. I could feel, for example, this was my 11th Scrum in a row, creating a project in a 2-week cycle with the moon. And every creator is going to be different. For me, 2 weeks was like, it takes a lot of energy every day showing up to produce the things that I've been creating. It takes just a consistent drive to go through this wave of experimentation, and then arranging, and then making it make sense, and then like getting it all together right for the closing of the ceremony, right? And that's been so great, and also something that I'm ready to take a breath from. Recognizing like, okay, something's changed. I'm in a new place. Like I actually really want to open up to feel. I want to give myself permission to create without any borders. And I want to give myself permission to take a lot of time with what I want to do creatively next. Like, I want to go into a bunch of projects that I don't need to finish. Perhaps, I want to just enter a space of timelessness. And the compression chamber that Scrum has been epic. And I had this notion that it would be, this is how I would just keep on doing this for a long time. And then that notion started to change, where I was like, the format of this equation, of this creative production equation, is going to iterate, innovate, evolve. and now it's that time. So this next scrum, I'm doing another scrum, but from the creative side of the equation, I'm going to relax. Nothing. No daily practice. And I don't have to complete a piece. From the scrum side of the equation, I'm going to just master a piece. And I say just master. I want to get better at tying the bow around all the sounds. And I feel for the next, every full moon that is to come, I want to release these pieces as I'm developing in a more formless form. Creating in a formless way, allowing myself to be multimedia. I'm creating psychic space for myself to be without preconceived ideas of what to do, and I'm going to be taking this time, this next cycle, to just act on inspiration and honor these pieces, send them away. I'm also relaxing how I've been relating to content. I have a sense that there's a space in me which feels inspired, like creating content needs to be inspiring, otherwise it's not actually going to happen. And if I'm feeling like it's forced, I'm missing the point. I'm missing something. The right thing done from the wrong reason is the wrong thing. So I'm relaxing the temptations of my desires and receiving the gift that God has given. I'm acting upon inspiration. I know the water knows where to go. I know the water knows where to go. I am focusing upon entering the current, being in tune, listening, and acting with the waves, paddling and riding them rather than trying to manufacture them. I do want to share Azara with the world. Don't think that'll be changing. How I relate to that equation is going to continually change. This is where I am. Thank you for listening. A beautiful place it is to be. One more thing. I went to an open mic the first night that I was alone here, and a lot of hip hop, a lot of poetry, just very different kind of open mic that I've encountered before. There's a grit to it where the MC said ahead of time, the open mic was called Apache XLR, and the open mic said ahead of time, or the MC said ahead of time, each person gets 2 songs. You can do anything when you get up here. Each person gets 2 songs, and the audience will tell you if you get to sing the next one. Do the next one. And after the performer would perform their first piece, the MC would ask, okay, yay or nay. All in favor say aye, and those not in favor say no. And if more people said no than yes, the person wouldn't go on again. But there's a catch to that, and that is, if it is a no, then somebody from the audience has to share why, give a piece of constructive feedback. so the artist knows and can develop. And here's the thing, it's all up here. It's all up here, you know? And that to me was just like so cool. There's a grit to it. It was unpampered by AYSO trophies for participation. You know, it was cool. And going there, I did not perform, but going there, I was able to tune into what I would do. In that kind of environment, how I would share, how I would create, and I just locked in. But on the way back, I was singing like crazy in the car. I was inspired. I was singing. I was having a ball, and as I pushed the button for the elevator, and I'm in this like elevator corridor place that you wait, and it had a cool echo. All doors were closed, and I just pressed play on my camera, and I started to my phone, and I started to sing, and I caught some great clips. Some clips that feel like, oh, this is it. And it was a remembering, like, got it, yes, okay. And that remembering inspires me to like drop the structures, take this time to reside inside this new space, and allow it to move me, allow it to move through me, to be open, to be undistracted, and to settle into the current of God. Act upon inspiration. And I've just been like also kind of wilding out. Like as soon as my dad and mom left, I was just like, oh my God, I'm actually alone. I'm living alone. And I've been with my family since I tore my ACL for the past 3 months, and I was living in a community in California before that, so it was like, holy fuck. And I was freely expressed in the community for sure. That being said, there's just something different that comes out of me when I'm totally in my own space, and I love it. Like, and that's the kind of the thing that I want to feed. That is the thing I want to feed. Is just like, who comes alive? What pours through these cracks? Yeah. And let it be new. The wells from which I've drawn inspiration before are not the wells from which creation will pour now. It pours from a new space, and it's like, I want to be in touch with that, and right now create space in my life to tune into that which I do not yet see. I feel it. Just let it come, because it wants to happen. Ultimately, I have that sense that this thing wants to bloom. The popcorn wants to pop. It's been incubating for a long time. It's been doing a thing. It's been developing, and I can just lean into that presence of that momentum. So that's where I am now. Yeah. Cool. I hope wherever you are on your journey, you know, fuck it, I'm just sending you the juju to I love you.